It's time for our phase one.
Mm-hmm.
And for the first time, we've actually been able to do one of these after a bowl game.
I know.
We've never done this after a bowl game. It's always happened the week after Thanksgiving because that's when Nebraska's season came to an end.
It's normally early December, and now it's late December. This poll will close in 2025.
It will.
For the first time ever, will close in a brand new year.
But a real quick, and you can vote right now, JTech Instruction Zone Twitter page. We've retweeted it several times.
I'm going to retweet it again right now.
The poll's open all week long, but This is our annual four time a year survey. We'll do one here. We'll do another one after the spring.
Yep.
We'll do another one prior to training camp, and then we'll do the final one, phase 4, the week of the first game, which I just realized we're going to have to start that poll earlier because the first game's going to be Thursday night.
And we'll be there.
Nice. Dumb debates.
Will we?
Would this be quarterly
sure?
since there's only 4 of them? Or
No,
since there's 4 of
but
them?
it's not quarterly because we do it now. We do it after the spring game, which is in April.
Right.
So I'm running Boston this year, and that's the 21st. So it'll be then.
Yeah.
And then it'll be the end of
two
July.
happen within 4 weeks
a month,
of each other.
yeah.
Right.
So.
And I get it's not like quarterly, but I think annual 4 times. There has to be a name for this.
There
I
is.
do
It's
understand,
probably,
Nick.
it's probably like, I don't know.
I do understand.
Someone will figure
I do
it out.
understand.
But a real quick review of how it went last year, and we kept the options exactly the same.
Yes.
So
Much
the
to the
options, and this
chagrin.
is to predict next year's record, regular season, of course, next year's record.
Yep.
3-9 or worse, 4-8 or 5-7,
Yikes.
6-6 or 7-5, or 8 wins or more. Many were on us saying we need to move these numbers up.
And then the numbers ended up being the correct numbers to use.
Yep. So we're going to keep them this way.
And look,
at least for another year.
Yeah, and I mean, here's a fun question to be had, John. What type of record would they need to get for us to change, for it to go 5-7 or worse?
I
6
say it
and
has
6
to
or
be
7
10
and
wins
5.
or more.
So if they get 10 wins, we will change these. And then it would be just sub 500, and then 6-6, 7-5, 8-4, 9-3, 10-2 or better.
There you go.
There you go. But they got to go 10-2 for us to change. The Matt Rule, the year 3 bump, John.
Sure.
It always happens.
But so what we focus on is what we call the positivity, and the positivity is 6 wins or better.
Mm-hmm.
And the first phase last year, after the end of the 2023 regular season, was 75% positivity,
And
6 wins or more.
Shout out to 59.2% of voters who went 6-6 or 7-5. That's where I was at that time. They nailed it.
And then after the spring, it
nice.
jumped to 91% positivity.
What a picture to use.
That's from The Sopranos.
Is it?
That's Chrissy.
Yep.
He's
using heroin.
Oh.
So that's heroin, Nick.
I thought it was positivity.
Heroin is a drug.
Yeah.
Well, the first time people do heroin, I've heard it's positive. And then they chase that dragon forever, and it's bad. I've heard.
You've heard.
I've heard.
Then going into training camp,
Catch
the
'em yet?
positivity ramped up to almost 94%.
Wow. Mother of God.
And then right before the season, it capped at 95%. So that was how it went last year.
Higher than any Scott Frost year. Though, to
Higher
be
than
fair,
any Scott Frost
we
year.
started doing this exercise with these exact numbers in 21. So we only got, a couple Frost.
I wonder what the first year of Scott Frost would have been
Nick,
like.
I think about that all the time. First of all, the results would have probably been like 5-7 or worse, and then it would have been the 6-6, 7-5. So it would have been way skewed. It would have been hilarious.
It would have been hilarious because there was a lot of
even 2019. 2019 would have been even worse because we were frost pilled.
So here we are, just a day into our voting, and we're at 95%
Oh my
positivity. 36% of you.
Too much.
36% of you believe it's going to be a 6-win or a 7-win regular season, and 59% of you believe in 8 wins or greater.
Too positive.
Only 3% say 4-8 or 5-7, and only 1.5%, we call them the people that were still on their phones in the bar in Nashville before they walked over to the Music City Bowl.
Oh, the Iowa fans. I get it. I was like, where is this one going?
Yeah.
The haters and losers, of which there are many.
So we're at 95.1% positivity in phase 1.
Kenneth writes, you are sickos. I think he's talking about the voters. Setting yourself up to be disappointed once again.
It's a trend. It happens every year.
Jordan writes, is this the Dana effect? That's a great question of like, what explains this? Because people have been negative all year.
Blind faith.
So
Blind faith
why are they
explains this.
excited now? What happened?
It'd be fun. We'll never know the answer to this, but what if they had choked on Saturday? How much would that have affected?
It would have, even though it's a meaningless bowl game, because it would have been another one of those stupid losses. Yeah, for sure.
In 2023, the numbers went from 56% to 63 to 70 to 73. That's where it capped out in Matt Rule's first season.
Okay.
In 24, last year, started at 75, went to 91, went to 94, ended at 95.
So where are we starting this one?
And we are starting this one basically where we left off at the beginning of last year. 95.3% said 6 wins or better right before the start of the season. It's at 95.1%. Of course, polls are still open.
So it is nuts.
It could still be the same.
Kenneth writes, I voted 6-6 or 7-5 for the record. Just think they have some big holes to fill defensively, literally and figuratively. I also did. I also put that on the end of the year list, which we did a couple of weeks ago on our last show of 2024. I said they'll go 6-6 or 7-5 and nothing will change. So that is certainly the mindset that I am approaching things with right now.
Again, another look at the progression of positivity. I mean, look at the winter
is coming. Look, it's Patrick Mahomes. That's funny.
Twice.
Nice, Nick. Well played.
Well played indeed.
Uh-huh.
And the 8-4 or better crowd, look at this number. 59% of you say 8 wins or better. We've never had a number that high. Last year, it capped out at 42.
Is that Jim Jones?
That's Jim Jones.
This is, wow, I never knew that's what Jim Jones
I think
like.
What a suit.
It's a great suit. Well, it was 70s.
Man, I mean, I want to ask, how high can this number go? Or how high can the positivity go?
Honestly,
it already has a ceiling on it.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not going to be 100%.
Yeah, it's not going to be 100%. So really the number to watch is this number, the 8 wins or greater crowd, because that's the number that's going to change the most.
Yeah, for sure. Everything's just going to move into the list.
Put it on the list.
Get the tomatoes.
Put it on the list.
Okay.
When we do this in August, right before Cincinnati, the game that we might be at.
Nice. No, we will be there. We'll be there.
Okay. This number of 8 wins or better will be north of 75%.
Wait, say this again. I just realized for the last year,
so phase 4.
I typed 2023 as the date on every single one instead of 2024, like a big idiot. Anyway, continue.
So when we do this phase 4,
okay,
the 8 win or better crowd, that vote will be greater than 75% right before the season starts.
70%?
75.
75.
It'll be better than 75%.
Okay.
Better than 75%.
Perfect.
So it can't be 75.0. Got to be at least 75.1.
Than 75%.
Yep.
Wow.
That's where I think this will end up.
That's crazy.
And I feel like that might be conservative.
Yeah.
Man. I feel like that might.
Again, there's not a whole lot of room to go up. So that's what it's going to be. It's just going to be a shift into that number.
Yep.
Not so much a shift into like the overall bowl game crowd is probably going to stay about the same.
Yeah.
Maybe it gets up to 97%.
Yeah.
Everything's just going to shift into 8-4.
Yeah, there's always going to be a handful of folks who'll be like, no, they're going to lose. They're going to lose.
Husker Sicko writes, if we win less than 8 games next year, Josh can dump a whole bucket of mayo on me. I'll stand on it.
Put that on the list.
Put this from Husker Sicko on the list.
Yeah.
Josh writes, I was way down on Nebraska's 2025 season until I saw Raiola doing his best Jim Valvano impression after the big win over BC on a baseball field. Hello, CFP. I sense a bit of sarcasm from friend of the Grum Josh.
And again, I think
Nick.
I think some of this is probably I was going on the air, and so I had shut off.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
I had shut off the bowl game.
Yeah. So why would you watch a bowl game celebration? That's sicko behavior.
Well, no, but I mean, it was shown. But the conversation around, I guess I have to go back and see if I can find a copy and watch it.
Yeah.
I mean, I did see him running towards the stands, but I thought, oh, that's he's just celebrating.
Yeah.
I didn't realize this became I don't know how big of a talking point it became. I don't know if this is just something that lives on the message board.
I've done a
world.
good job of unplugging. It's been nice.
Yeah.
Me too.
So I don't
awesome.
And I've been on Twitter the whole week. I didn't I didn't see a whole lot of conversation about
Yeah,
it.
me neither. But
So
I
I don't know
somehow
if
missed all the
this is a
Cam Ward
fringe-
stuff too. So
Oh, yeah, I saw a lot of Cam Ward stuff.
yeah, and I missed all that.
I missed all of it too.
Speaking of chasing things, Katie writes, Josh has been chasing that dragon for years. It's why he started running marathons. Boston is the high he needs now.
The name of that dragon is actually 3 hours.
Oh.
That's what this whole podcast is about.
Nick, I'm happy that you figured it out. A couple comments. Jack emails in, not Mitchell. There should be plenty of optimism heading into next year's season as we finally have an offensive coordinator as well as a very good defensive coordinator. The offensive coordinator is bringing in players who can catch and block and make a difference on offense. I think we'll have a very robust offense next year, and I think the defense will be better than average. The big thing that needs to get changed, and the coach said he'll make this change, is to fix special teams. That cost us the Iowa game and another game as well.
How can you say this about Holgo with such a small sample size?
Because he's been a great coordinator like everywhere.
See, to me, the question is, how can you say this about Butler with a small sample size?
His sample size is tiny.
Because I
like
believe
a
this.
certain
I
Mr.
believe this
H.
defense will take a step back. And I'm not saying it's because it's Butler, but I do think this defense is going to take a step back.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that he's very good. I don't think we know.
And I can't. Yeah, and I can't say
I wouldn't
he's
say he's
good
very
or
bad.
bad, but he doesn't have the same credentials on defense that Dana Holgorsen has on offense. As far as calling the plays, I know he's been in the NFL. He's been with the Bills. You know, he's been around the sport, but he doesn't have the same defensive reputation that Holgorsen has on offense.
Yeah, the Oko. Zach says, I've been able to listen much to the show today. You talked about Jalen Lloyd in the portal. How has that affected your voting, John? We have mentioned it. We have indeed mentioned
it. I'm on the phone with Nick's buddy Elon, and I'm trying to take my vote back and vote 3 and 9 or worse.
Nice.
So there you go.
And John was at 8 and 4 better. So you view this as 5 wins.
Oh yeah, he's definitely worth 5 wins.
Bummer.
Definitely
Well,
worth 5.
that'll cost him.
I mean, not to be totally sarcastic, but this news, again, nothing
matters.
Nothing surprises
John's
me.
black-pilled.
Oh, no.
Nothing matters.
Honestly, there's only one announced player move that could happen that would make me go, and that's Dylan.
I was going to say, Money Chris says, I'll be honest, my reaction to any Nebraska player entering the portal not named Dylan Raiola is basically meh.
Yeah.
Meh.
That's where I'm at.
I'm trying to think
it's not really meh, but it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because
they don't have like an all-conference dude otherwise that we know of.
Yeah. I mean, there would be some guys like if, let's say, Willis McGahee.
If Vincent Shavers after the weekend.
Shavers.
Like, oh, that sucks. Cam Lenhart, right?
But and part of this is where I'm at mentally with the sport of college football. And
you
just kind of
you want to die.
And just expecting dumb things to happen.
Yeah.
And bad decisions to be made. I'm nothing surprises me.
No.
Dylan would surprise me. Especially, I mean, to celebrate like that, to run around with your hair on fire like a raving lunatic because you want to.
Like a psychotic person?
And again, I'm just going off of what I read on the message boards.
Yeah, and Twitter. Jordan writes, when do we change the positivity index to not include 6 and 6 or 7 and 5? Because would that really be positive next year?
Again,
should 6 and 6 or 7? No, he's asking, should we count 6 and 6 or 7 and 5 in the positivity index?
Yes.
Is 8 and 4 better only positive? 6 and 6 or 7 and 5 is what they were this year. Is that really positive in year 3?
This is the first time Nebraska's gotten to 6 and 6 in years.
Yeah,
I
right.
think you should be happy if they do it again.
You say, give me more slop, daddy.
You need
daddy rule.
Yeah,
slop is better than nothing.
We will move the slide forward. We will move the sliding scale forward if Nebraska gets to 10 wins. If they don't, then we're going to keep it this way.
Okay.
Because you'd be a fool not to think that anything wasn't on the table.
Kids these days are just not ever satisfied with what they have.
With slop?
It's true.
Man, if I went home and
put some garlic on the slop.
It was like we're having sloppy joes, I would say, what? That's a 6 and 6 season again.
I love sloppy joes.
Oh, man, they're so mid. Give me a burger. Why would you want a sloppy joe?
Because sloppy joes are good.
What are you, a child?
No, I'm a man.
The sloppy joes we had a couple weeks ago.
Meat sandwich.
No, they were awesome.
I'm a man-wich.
Yes,
no one can ever say a sloppy joe is awesome.
Yes, it was.
That'd be so disappointing.
Because there were jalapenos in it.
Get a burger. Put jalapenos on a burger.
It's not the same.
It's not the same.
I know, it's worse. It's like a bologna sandwich. Why would I have bologna when I could have Other meats.
Bologna's disgusting. That's the difference.
No, bologna
The-
is
the
the
sloppy-
deli meats of Sloppy Joe's.
The Sloppy Joe.
The Sloppy
it's,
Joe of deli meats.
it's about the sauce.
It is.
The sauce is mid.
No, it's not.
None of you. Again, it's you.
You got to get man
Turkey's
witch.
mid. That's because you've had mid turkey. If you had good turkey, you wouldn't think turkey is mid.
I will say I don't like homemade sloppy joes. I like manwich specifically.
See, the wife doctors up the manwich
Oh,
and added jalapenos, and I'm like, man,
your
these
wife puts heroin in the manwich?
Can you just drink
Maybe.
heroin? Why do you have to inject it into your blood? Or is that because it hits harder and faster?
I think it's because of the way it hits.
But you could drink it if you wanted to.
I don't know if you should drink heroin.
For the record, I'm not going to.
Oh, go back and watch The Wire. See what they did.
They injected it.
Okay.
Yeah, great show.